I am just listening on the radio to Bruce Springsteen, Glory Days, Gloryddays. Now, on the Spracha News for Sorcery and Source Companion, Alice Mirza, okay, Alice married Michael Mirza, that woman, the short, we say like this, we take my Cataruza, Goddess Nyx, and then we put the horns for Alice, who married Mike Mirza, in the dirt, and then we turn, because all she is a making holes where there were no holes before. We're trying to patch holes, Alice married Michael Mirza. We're not trying to start new holes in the cognition of the humans and cause more problems in the genetic future. So the radio was announced to me, and somebody called Judith Marie Gunder and verified in her little tiny Matchbox kitchen set that she lived in until she died of lung cancer, because she loved muscle cars and had like a big yellow, I don't know, was it like Camaro or what? I don't know, it was some yellow, canary yellow, by the way, like muscle car that she drove with one arm out, Bruce Springsteen on the radio. She had a bandana, and she was just like, pumped, oh, USA, yeah, like smoking cigarettes and whatever with Bob, right? And then she found out through her niece, or her Firefly belongs inside of my vagina mother, Linda Marie Gunder, 1948, that had the Firefly taken from her genetic before she exited Mariah, and got sewn into a later cosmic event of August 2nd, which wound up being Judith Marie Gunder, but in the wrong skin. So that was a problem. So Judith liked the yellow muscle cars, smoking cigarettes, and the bandana with Bruce Springsteen on the radio, USA. Right. I found out later, and then they confirmed it to Judith for her life records in injustice at U.S. highest seat of Supreme Court, that the artist known as Bruce Springsteen fancies himself a Native American, like casino gambling, Red Army, like all of the wrong playbook that's just gonna break the fucking universe, the society, and the future into some slum landlord's tenancy is what he was subscribing to. So by him playing all of the white man's favorite records, because he had already been poisoned against the white man's agenda of fixing the world for everyone, including what he thinks he is or keeps calling himself, and then confusing the next generation, like my age, which also ties into the injustice that was done to Judith, how she was torn apart. And then the fucking assholes like Alice, who married Michael Mirza, who had Maria Mirza, 1978 version, right? Alice was like, I don't know, 1940s-ish, right? Can never document their paperwork, by the way, but these are the words they spoke, just like Bruce Springsteen. So now they're singing about glory days. Inside there, he says something, and what I hear is the bird kissed the fish, or married the fish, or the bird and the fish. Now, that's a problem, because is that indicative of the fucking disgusting beak nose, meaning Jason Peter Romer, 1976, and Peter Otto Romer before him, kissing me, the fish, which is like the Jesus fish? And then causing all fucking problem? Yeah, the guy who calls himself a red man, which is the wrong red fucking army, because I have in Hitler, Nazi, and SS superior, We know the Red Army was the white area. The enemy of that era, of the Nazis and Soviet, being the holy romance of the highest justice system, being the SS, only reliable source of any intel ever at the top, until they infiltrated that and then totally fucking threw that Spracha bank and bankroll into confusion. That's what Bruce Springsteen did. He pretended he was like an American, like everybody else, but he really fancies himself like he's some kind of spiritual walker. I hate to tell you, Bruce, you're not making it to the next fucking round. I assure you that. I own the wheelhouse, the zodiac, and all the fireflies. I am pure source energy, and it's my job here to weed out enemies of the state of death and taxation without representation, which is exactly what you are. You're representing the enemy to my main mission of fixing the human terrarium, which is like the Earth's atmosphere and what keeps you healthy and clean and not living in the ghetto slums of tenancy and not being able to stay healthy and purposeful. You've taken all purpose away. And they used to laugh about it, that Judy would like pump Bruce Springsteen and the USA and that they were killing the yellow man. Yeah, I mean, all of those things are really wonderful messages on the Source Companion. Problem is the definition and the word count and the genetic it's coming from is, and what he stands for, which no normal public servant, an indentured servant to me, could possibly figure that out in a lifetime. With all of these artists and Capitol Records, Atlantic Records, BMG, and all these other private labels, it gets really fucking confusing what agenda you're pushing. There's one humanistic agenda. It's to avoid toxoplasmosis from handling too much of everybody else's cat's fecal matter and collecting them on your lands without allowing law enforcement to come through and clean sweep. Where did I lose you on getting your part right, human? Because I really didn't think that this was going to be this hard for you to cognitively grasp when I am a brouhaha. Right, yeah. You're a different egg woman than I am in visage, but I own the firefly that you may be at this point, if you're lucky enough to have one, and where your firefly will end up next time. I'm fixing that system. I own the vortex. There's no argument on my placement in the source energy code for genetic bipedal, and the fact that I'm closing off Stargate to any travel and to anybody from pronouncing themselves into like their next them within this time frame. It ends. It just ends for you all. I will collect fireflies I call them sea fleas. I already have them collecting in the atmosphere around the space station. They call it in all the time. That they can see like these glowing orbs. Right, those are sea fleas because those are the people that are fucking with my zodiac dial and my human program of what I actually need done. The benchmark and the bar of whether you humans got your agenda tuned in correctly or not is the fact that my first son, Benjamin, who was fighting in a quiet, small court on his own behalf and on mine and on his brother's, then got denied or shut out and assigned to some ugly genetic that he did not want to come into through my cosmic portal of birth. He tried to kill himself on the way out. I mean, he was totally blue. They couldn't even hear him. No sound. So now, I don't get it. I don't understand you humans. why you keep circumventing the truth of what needs to be done and what your real purpose is here. Why you keep building bullshit excuses and bullshit industries to further break systems that are collapsible and are not sustainable, nor am I allowing it to be sustainable. Ever. So why don't you fix what's broken before 1999 so I have Benjamin correct? One cock, one cunt, one clock kid. It was 98 to 99. We needed Christmas on time. I don't care what fucking religion you are. All it means is Ben comes out looking like Nick Klaus, and we're just a happy family, and then we move on to your human issues and fixing shit. On my docket of I hold all the jurisdiction and all of the problems of the earth in my genetic appearance as human amongst you idiots. And then I have to hope that you don't pretend like you're solving your own cases, because I don't close the docket. It just gets a wider and wider hole. You keep digging for yourself like an English Channel trench that you filled in yourself, and now you're drowning in, and you're like, oh. Yeah, it's a real big fucking weight on the rest of the world, which is like the displacement of the land terrain and the water slowly rising. There's too many of you idiots treading water in a displacement of time and space that you don't belong, and you keep making your own fucking rules. This is universal law. You don't change those.